What was that?
I almost shitted myself.
That vibrated the fuck out of my legs, you nasty fuck.
Oh, God.
So you wanted us to take a deep dive into this Wawa incident report from Winchester, Virginia. December 7th, 2024.
Should be a pretty wild ride.
Yeah.
Well, you know Jaygo and Kenny?
Oh, yeah.
World-famous fucklenucks.
Yeah.
What did you expect? This time, they decided to grace Wawa with their presence after, let's just say, a very productive smoking session.
Yeah.
13 blunts, to be exact.
So they're beyond baked.
Yeah.
Got it. And, of course, they're starving. What'd they order?
Kenny, in his infinite wisdom, decided he needed a family-sized bowl of meatballs.
Oh, my God.
Not a regular bowl, mind you.
Holy
A
shit.
family-sized one.
Okay.
The report really emphasizes that detail.
Okay. That's a lot of meatballs, even for a couple of guys with the munchies. What about Jaygo? What culinary masterpiece did he choose?
He went for the classic turkey and cheese sub. Seems almost sensible compared to Kenny's meatball mountain.
All right, so we've got our heroes high as kites, surrounded by enough food to feed a small army. What could possibly go wrong?
Well, as Jaygo's innocently enjoying his sub, he decides to grace Kenny with some colorful commentary. Calls him a flaming queerbait bastard. Not sure what that even means, but it certainly set the stage for what happened next.
Classic Jaygo. Always the poet. How'd Kenny take it?
Kenny, being high as a kite and laser-focused on his meatballs, responded with the eloquence you'd expect. He told Jaygo to eat a fart, and then for good measure let loose a fart so powerful, the report says it nearly made Jaygo shit himself.
Oh, my God.
I know.
So we've got insults, we've got weaponized farts. This is shaping up to be a typical Tuesday for these two. What happens next?
Well, after narrowly avoiding a code brown, Jaygo decides to purchase a lighter, and not just any lighter. The report says he spent a good couple of minutes meticulously choosing the perfect one.
Okay, that's oddly specific. Why is
Yeah.
the lighter choice so important?
Oh, you'll see. It becomes quite crucial in the grand scheme of this shit show. Anyway, they grab their food, Jaygo pockets his special lighter, and they head out to a table in the parking lot.
All right, scene set. Two stoned idiots. A mountain of meatballs, a turkey sub, and a carefully selected lighter. What happens next? Give me the good stuff.
Jaygo takes a bite of his sub-eyes, his new lighter, and gets a mischievous glint in his eye. He asks Kenny if he wants to play a game called How Long Before It Burns Real Hard.
How long before it burns real hard? What the fuck kind of game is that? And what did Kenny say?
The report doesn't mention Kenny's reaction, which, knowing Kenny, probably means he was too stoned to even register the question.
Fair enough. So what happened? Did they play this game?
Oh, they played all right. Jaygo, in a move that can only be described as pure genius or utter insanity, jumps up on the table, pulls down his pants, and aims his ass directly at Kenny.
Wait, hold on. I think I see where this is going. Don't tell me.
Oh, I'm telling you, Jaygo proceeds to fart with all his might onto the lighter he so carefully selected,
Oh, wow.
and boom, instantaneous combustion.
He farted on the lighter and set it on fire.
Yep. And Kenny, who's just sitting there minding his own business, suddenly finds himself engulfed in flames. The report describes him jumping out of his wheelchair and running around the parking lot screaming like a banshee.
Jesus Christ. So we've got a flaming wheelchair-bound dude running loose in a Wawa parking lot. What does Jaygo do? Call for help. Put the fire out.
Nah. Jaygo's just sitting there calmly finishing his sub and laughing his ass off. Typical Jaygo.
Unbelievable. This is going exactly as I expected. So Kenny's on fire running around. Where does this dumpster fire go next?
Well, in his panic, Kenny runs straight towards the gas pumps. And to make matters worse, there's an elderly couple filling up their car right there.
Oh, no. This is about to get so much worse.
You know how this goes. Kenny slams into that gas pump, sets off a massive explosion. The elderly couple, their car, everything goes up in flames. The report even mentions a puppy in the back seat that caught fire and ran off down the street.
Oh, my God. Are you serious? A puppy?
It gets weirder. The force of the explosion launched Kenny, still on fire, across the street to a Dunkin' Donuts. He crashes into their gas pumps, another explosion, and then it's like a goddamn pinball game. Kenny, the human fireball, bouncing between gas stations all over Winchester, setting off explosions everywhere he goes.
Okay, rewind. Kenny's getting launched through the air on fire from one gas station to another. This is insane, even for them.
It's like something out of a cartoon. And somehow, through all this chaos, the report says there were no fatalities.
If so, everyone survived. That's a miracle. What about Kenny? He has to be toast after all that, right?
Banged up, obviously, but still alive. You can't keep a good fuckleneck down, I guess. And you want to hear the craziest part?
Hit me with it. At this point, I'm ready for anything.
Despite causing all this mayhem, all this destruction, Jaygo and Kenny didn't face any serious legal repercussions.
Wait, seriously? No charges? How is that even possible? They practically leveled half of Winchester.
The report doesn't go into the legal details, but it does mention that people were pissed. Like, really pissed. But for some reason, the authorities didn't press charges. Maybe they were afraid of those two. Who knows?
Maybe they just figured those two were going to get what was coming to them eventually, one way or another. Speaking of which, what happened with Jaygo? Did he just walk away scot-free after lighting his buddy on fire?
Oh, Kenny made sure Jaygo got his near, and it was brutal.
I can only imagine. Knowing Kenny, it probably involves something flammable and highly inappropriate.
You're not wrong. Here's what the report says, and I quote, Kenny retaliated against Jaygo by tying an entire string of 373 firecrackers around Jaygo's dick in his sleep, then lighting him on fire with a mummified pygmy nipple, 2 Dremel tips, and an entire bottle of Zippo lighter fluid.
Holy shit, I don't even know what to say to that. First of all, where the hell do you even get a mummified pygmy nipple?
Your guess is as good as mine. We can file that under questions we don't want the answers to. But anyway, you can imagine what happened next.
Oh, I can picture it vividly. Let me guess. Jaygo wakes up in a very bad mood and with a significant reduction in personal equipment.
Bingo. According to the report, he bolted awake and ran down the street on fire. And yeah, the firecrackers didn't exactly end well for his, shall we say, manhood.
Karma's a bitch, especially when it's packing 373 firecrackers.
Yeah.
So after all that, what happened? Did anyone learn anything? Was anyone held accountable?
Not really. The report focuses mainly on the incidents themselves, not the aftermath. But it does mention one interesting detail.
What's that?
Remember Kelsey, the customer who accidentally contributed to the whole chain reaction with her? Unfortunate flatulence.
Oh, yeah, Kelsey. The Wawa windmaker. Hard to forget that part.
Well, it seems she became a bit of a local celebrity after the incident. The report says a local brewery even created a special beer in her honor.
You're kidding, right? They named a beer after the woman who farted and blew up half the town.
Yep, it's called Kelsey's Kaboom IPA, apparently.
Only in Winchester. I swear that town's a different breed.
But it's kind of fascinating, right? In the face of all this madness, this destruction, they found something to laugh about. They turned a disaster into a joke and even a marketing opportunity. It says something about the human spirit, don't you think?
I don't know, man. Maybe it's just a coping mechanism, or maybe they just really, really like beer. Either way, this whole thing is a lot to process.
Agreed. And we're not even done yet. There's one more crazy twist to this story we need to unpack.
All right, we're back. And I'm still trying to wrap my head around everything that happened in Winchester Explosions fire, a flying meatball missile, and somehow everyone lived to tell the tale.
It's the kind of story you couldn't make up if you tried. But it does make you think, doesn't it?
Oh, it definitely makes you think.
Yeah.
Mostly about how two guys like Jaygo and Kenny can cause so much chaos and walk away basically unscathed.
Well, remember, Kenny didn't exactly walk away unscathed. Jaygo made sure of that.
True, but from a legal standpoint, they got off scot-free.
Yeah.
And the town just seems to accept them, even celebrate them in a weird way. Like that whole Kelsey's Kaboom IPA thing.
It's bizarre, right? You'd think after all that destruction there'd be some outrage, some demand for accountability. But it's like they've become immune to the consequences of their actions.
It's Winchester, man.
Yeah.
What can you say? Maybe it's like you said earlier, some kind of coping mechanism. They turn the trauma into a joke, brew a commemorative beer, and move on with their lives.
Maybe. Or maybe there's something deeper at play here.
Like what? Don't tell me you're going all philosophical on me.
Just hear me out. What if this whole incident, as crazy as it sounds, is a reflection of something bigger? Something about our society, our values, our tolerance for fuckle-knuckery.
Okay, I'll bite. Explain.
Think about it. We live in a world where outrageous behavior is often rewarded, where the loudest, most disruptive voices get the most attention, where people can cause harm and face minimal consequences.
Yeah, and reality TV is a thing, so what's your point?
Maybe Winchester isn't so different from the rest of the world after all. Maybe they're just a microcosm of a larger trend where we've become desensitized to chaos and absurdity, where we've normalized the abnormal.
So you're saying Jaygo and Kenny are like a metaphor for the state of humanity?
Maybe. Or maybe they're just two idiots who got lucky. It's hard to say.
You know what? My brain hurts. I need a drink.
Fair enough. This deep dive was a wild one even for us.
So, to sum it all up, 2 stoned fucklenucks, a mountain of meatballs, a fart-powered lighter, a chain reaction of explosions, a mummified pygmy nipple, and a commemorative IPA only in America, right?
And Winchester, Virginia. Never forget Winchester.
And on that note, I think we need to wrap things up. We've gone deep enough for one day.
Agreed. Let's leave our listeners with this. Be careful out there, folks. You never know when a simple trip to Wawa might turn into a full-blown disaster movie. And if you see a guy with a lighter and a mischievous look in his eye, run.
Words to live by. Until next time, stay safe, stay sane, and for the love of God, avoid gas stations if you hear someone yell, "How long before it burns real hard?"
And try not to shit yourself, especially if you feel a strong gust of wind coming from behind. You never know, it might be Kelsey.
All right, that's enough. We're done here.